And good morning from Scotty Ray Candace. It is Tuesday.
It is. What is today, the 2nd, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, he did see his shadow.
Matter of fact, we got a clip of it from,
Yeah.
This is NBC of what happened earlier. Let's pull this up. This is, if you missed this earlier this morning, this is the groundhog seeing his shadow earlier this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seer of seers, the great Oz of weather forecasting, Punxsutawney Phil.
Now,
I kept thinking he was going to claw the fire out of it.
I know.
He looks like he could just eat him up, like if he don't put him down.
And it looks like a leftover piece of carpet that they got there from somewhere else.
Gentlemen, let's find out what Phil has to say.
I heard somebody this morning say that groundhogs look like a beaver without a tail.
That's really what it looks
They
like.
do.
How do you see a shadow in that?
I know, I don't.
This one? Is it this one?
Do you? What?
I'm thinking, he's going to stand up on his back legs and see a shadow or something,
Yeah. But that is kind of how it went down. I don't see shadows of how that really worked, but they go on to tell you that he did see a shadow there, and they read the proclamation. They had both of those written up.
So 6 more weeks of winter, supposedly.
It is coming. Now, what is it the National Weather Service tells us? I got a little thing on that I was going to show. Here it is. The National Weather Service says that 50% of the time in the last 10 years he's gotten it right. How else would he get it? Because there's only 2 choices.
Yeah.
It's going to be 50% wrong.
I don't understand that. I mean, but I do know, like, I had heard, I guess on the news this morning, they said, well, actual spring, when you say it's spring, from winter, is 6 weeks away anyway. So, to where it's, how they'll say, oh, it's first day of spring. Yeah, that's 6 weeks away anyway. So,
learning a little bit as we go on all that. Boy.
Yeah.
But we could have some colder weather coming in the next little bit. We'll watch it. It's this weekend. Now, we had a question yesterday about we're going to get snow on Monday night? No, we're not. 24, I think, is going to be the low on that. We're not going to get. There were some reports from other places that it was going to be in the teens in the Meridian area, and I don't see that anywhere.
yeah.
And all my looking. So that's where it is. All right, let's see here what we got going on. They had I thought we'd go to the Clark County Hot Topics this morning. They had an arrest. A home was broken into in Stonewall, and if you go to their page, they got the live video of them bringing it in. So they got serious in Clark County if you do. And they got 2 custody.
That's good.
Yeah. And
I think if they had more, everywhere, if they had more, repercussions for stuff, that maybe it kind of slow people down a little.
Now, it was 3 of them involved. One of them was caught at the house. He jumped out the window. He was chased down and caught. The other 2 got away in a car, and they had to stop and got them.
Good.
So, excuse me there for coughing so much this morning. Trying to get my throat cleared. I didn't have enough coffee this morning is my problem.
Yeah, I had enough coffee. I don't know. I got up this morning, and I just don't have any get up and go when I first get up in the morning.
Sometimes.
Even with coffee, sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I was trying to figure out what that little stream thing meant on the side there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One day I'm going to read all the instructions.
I'm glad you know, because I'm not the best with computers.
I didn't say I knew nothing. Boy, I got into a bind trying to work on something yesterday and had to call my son.
Well, I took a computer course just months back, and but it was so fast paced. I mean, we learned all the different programs and all that stuff. And I took notes, and I have it all in a notebook, But unless you do it, and practice it,
several times,
you just don't get it. It's just too much.
I agree now, because there's several things that we do here. If I didn't do it every day, I probably couldn't do it. And I thought we'd bring up, this is because when somebody loses a pet, it's heartbreaking.
It's like part of the family.
Yeah, this is one of the pets that is lost. This was lost over by the Pilot truck stop, I think on the 31st. Ponzi is his name. So if you've seen Ponzi out by there, anywhere around from there to structural steel back in there where the Pilot truck stop is, they'd love to have him back home.
He's cute.
Yeah. Almost looks like that dog that was on The Little Rascals. Remember him?
Yeah, we had the circle around his eye. Mm-hmm.
That was a good show. I do miss
so
that.
Cute. I need to. Have you seen the newer one? like that they
Yeah.
made years ago, but it's still older, but it's the newer version of it. It's cute too.
Wasn't Dolly in that at the end?
Yes, she was.
I thought so.
Or Reba.
Oh, maybe it was Reba.
Reba was in it. Reba.
Knew it was one of them.
Dolly might have been in it too. I can't remember, but I know Reba was.
Now, I was doing some reading this morning, and I had no idea on this. Did you know that Trump offered her, the award that Toby Keith got, the highest honor that you can get as a musician? Do you know she turned that down twice from Trump?
Why? I wonder.
She said that one time that her husband was sick and that COVID stopped her the second time from going to receive it, so she declined it. Now, Biden has already been in touch with her about giving it to her from his administration. She hasn't accepted, but wouldn't that not look so great if she takes it from Biden?
Yeah, that would not. I mean, that'd be kind of like a Garth Brooks thing
Yeah.
all over again.
And I'm not knocking
That would be
Dolly,
disappointing to me. Yeah.
but
Because couldn't you still accept something even if you couldn't get there to accept it in person?
I would think so also. That's
Yeah.
what was running through my head.
You could do a video of thank you so much,
Yeah,
I'm
live.
sorry I was not able to be there.
Because
But,
Carl
yeah.
Dean is sick. But I found that interesting. So we'll watch and see if Dolly takes it from the Biden administration. It would bother me some because she is a good woman. I'm not running her down, but that would.
Well, this whole Biden administration stuff, and I know I'll probably step on some toes, but and I'm sorry, if I step on your toes, but this is a disaster. A disaster.
It has been some.
I mean, from the press conference lady that can't answer any questions.
I'll get back with you. is what she
Yeah,
says.
yeah, she don't know anything, obviously, but to all these executive orders that are just little by little, he's tearing the country apart with the stroke of a pen every day.
But the sad part now is that the opposite to that, there are millions of people that agree with that. And, as I watched Rush Limbaugh one day, he goes, do not forget these people have been taught this and taught that,
Well,
that it's
right.
right.
They've
and they
conditioned
believe,
them.
yeah,
They've
and they
conditioned
believe
them.
that it's okay.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing is that they've been a lot of people have been conditioned to think all this stuff is normal or it's okay, and but there's a lot of people who voted for him because I read the comments on a blog the other
That
day
are going,
from them
uh-oh.
that are like, I voted for you, but I'm very disappointed in how you've done, or I'm voted for
And I've
you,
seen a
but
lot
I
of
don't agree with this. And
the unions that did support him
Right.
going, rump row, you're
Well,
taking
I
away our
mean,
jobs now.
it's just kind of like, and he did say, and I saw a comment yesterday where they showed where he said, if I get president, I will go down in history as being the most aggressive president. Now that can be read different ways, Some people might have
what it
thought.
meant.
Some people might have thought, oh, aggressive and like really getting busy and taking care of the country, or keeping the country going, But I think it's the opposite. I mean, he's tearing the country apart, and little by little, we're giving China a little bit more, leadway in. And it worries me to death just thinking about it, because I think ahead. I don't know. That's just me, and I've really thought, several times when I've heard them say in the news, this is stuff I thought weeks back,
Yeah.
about stuff. And it really worries me that China is going to try to infiltrate this, this
You never
this
know.
country. I mean, it really does, because
I was going to
I don't
maybe
trust,
let me see if I can find this here. Now, you commented on this yesterday, and this is the president. Let me pull this up.
Jeez.
Look, here we go.
And some of it will come as begin to come in early summer, but by the midsummer, that this vaccine will be there. And the order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%, from 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans by end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. But we want to make, look, I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans to beat this, not in hand
Okay,
yet, but
so
ordered.
there you go. That's enough to.
Do we have a cricket sound?
300 Americans.
Yeah. And in the end, he does correct himself and go, I mean, it's 300 million American. He does, but like,
It went through his
even
head.
the other part of it didn't even make any sense to me.
It was a lot of stumbling. So we'll watch this as we. But again, keep in mind, he's not really running it. I do not believe it a bit.
Well, when you have somebody that's in charge, supposedly though, and even if they're taking, I mean, I don't trust that he has the capability, the mental capability to make decisions about these executive orders or anything.
I know.
So I don't know.
A couple of comments. Carolyn Knight Bowen said it's a living nightmare that we're going through.
It is.
And although Kathy Price thinks they're brainwashed, she still wants snow.
She wants snow.
Yeah.
I want snow too, Kathy. I wish we had a little bit of snow like we had the other day. That's not too much. That's just enough.
And she does go on to say, that God has got this, and He does. Mm-hmm. And Ashley Fletcher said he's a puppet.
Well,
and that's what it is.
I said that from the very get-go because when he was doing all this stumbling stuff, wasn't making any sense when he was running for president, I'm like, this is sad. I mean, this is a sad situation. It was obvious to me that they were using him as their little puppet to get what they wanted.
We'll see how this ends. It's going to be more of this. Now, what else is going on? Now, maybe you saw this headline. I thought we'd cover a few of these that are going on. There's a story of a little girl. It was some type of domestic dispute. Cops were called to the home. Somehow or another, she got unruly, and the cops probably stepped across the line. They pepper sprayed her, and then they handcuffed her in a car, and, well, the protest had began.
Yeah.
Fox News is reporting that Black Lives protesters have surrounded the Rochester, did I say that correctly? Rochester, I guess. Police department there in New York. And as you go through all of this, they've torn down a barrier. They put up 2 barriers around the police station. They tore down one last night. I don't think they got into the other one. But when is it?
Does it show what she did, or did they say what she did for them to come and?
I read somewhere just where it was. I'd have to read more into it, Candace.
But she was
9 years old.
9 years old, excuse me.
And the body cameras where she arrested her. It was some type of, the parents called the cops, from what I understand.
I mean, some of these kids, and I know biologically they're children, but they can hurt people just like an adult.
Unruly.
They can be unruly too. And
but my point on all this is America has gotten to where the law they just take the law into their own hands, and if they don't like something, they surround it and burn it.
Right.
And on all areas.
But I'm gonna put it this way: if you're a kid or a teenager and you want to throw down like an adult, you better get ready to be treated
to
like
face
one.
the consequences.
Yeah,
of what you do is wrong.
That's right.
And I have to tend to agree with that. And I'll have to read more into the story to find out what all went on behind the scenes, because there was more to it.
Yeah.
Now, here's something that is disturbing that is out there. Twitter. We've talked about Twitter. I've got an account, and I post things on it each day. Let me put this to our browser where you read it better. They have suspended a Christian magazine from Twitter for calling it. Do you remember the guy that's in Biden's?
The Health.
Yeah, and it's a woman.
It's a man. I mean, I'm
right,
sorry,
but
biologically.
Has had surgery, and they called it a man, so Twitter suspended them for doing that. So freedom of speech is truly going out the window in the United States with the administration.
Right.
And I call it the administration because all of that sort of happened when we got deeper into the election.
So he was born a man.
Then had surgery
to become a woman.
Yeah.
Still looks like a man to me.
But Twitter canceling somebody's account for saying that.
Yeah, that's not right. I mean.
I don't agree with that. Now, here's something else that has been out there in the news. I don't know if everybody caught this because it's been kind of on the lowdown, what I would say. There's not been a lot of press done this. Have you heard of the thing called the Lincoln Project?
I've heard of it, but I don't quite understand what it's about. So,
all right,
I haven't really read into it.
It had Republicans that started it, and they were against Trump. And what they were really doing behind the scenes was raising money to beat Trump and elect Democrats. As we go to the breaking news that happened on Sunday night on this, the head of that guy has been sexually assaulting men. They have had 21 men step forward and say, he's sexually done something to me, either by email or in person. He has been stepped down, and they're scrambling to cover it up and get this under wraps. So that's out there right now.
Goodness.
So that gives you something to think on.
Yeah.
Some more headlines. And this one is, you feel for this guy. He's going through a divorce. He's got all kinds of issues. I think at heart, he means well. I really do. I think he's a Christian. He means well, but he has some issues. And we're talking Kanye.
Yeah, I think he's a couple of
brick shy, as they say.
Cylinders short.
But he did something called Sunday service where it was kind of like a church thing, and he hired a bunch of people to work for him. Well, they started complaining they weren't getting paid. Now, I think in the end he paid them. He was just extremely late on getting their money. So they've gone into a class action lawsuit against him. Somebody was mad because he didn't give them a ride home. Another one was mad because they didn't get lunch, they said, that they thought they were supposed to get. Now, I've never been an actor or hired that way. I don't know what is in those contracts, but it's $30 million is what they're suing for.
Oh, my goodness.
And with the Sunday service, I think he meant well.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's some news that is out there. So, it's been busy.
Well, you'd think they'd be understanding. I mean, a little bit if they're.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. Now let's turn to some stories that are happening around the place and all around. Let's see here. Today, it was 1876 that the National Baseball was founded, League of Baseball, which leads to the World Series and all of that. So, you a big baseball fan at y'all's house?
No. I mean, my son, my little one, he used to play he played t-ball a couple of times.
But you're not heartbroken if you don't watch the World Series?
No, I don't. I'm not I don't like watching sports on TV. I don't know. Just because they only show parts of it, and it may. I don't know.
So
now,
Super
football,
Bowl,
maybe.
Super Bowl, you gonna watch that?
No, I don't get in that. Now, I used to watch the Alabama game some, and I like that, But to me, I would rather be sitting there actually watching something.
Let's see, Tampa Bay and the Kansas City Chiefs are playing this year, and the first time that they picked the stadium is going to be at Tampa Bay, the home of one of the teams that are in it. And of course, Tom Brady is supposed to be the quarterback. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to watch it. I still can't get past.
Yeah, even if it wasn't for all that other, I probably still
It's
wouldn't
not your
watch it
thing.
anyway. No.
I didn't realize this had been really going on that long. 1887 was the first Groundhog Day.
Okay.
So there you go. Now you know.
It is neat how they dress up still, though.
Oh, yeah.
Those big top hats and all that kind of stuff.
They make a
neat.
big to-do of it.
Yeah.
Now, no crowds were there this year. I'm sure that you think of the business that is lost of how many people show up in that town to rent a hotel room.
Oh, goodness.
So, has anybody ever said you've got a beautiful body?
I know.
What a line that was. The Bellamy brothers.
Yeah. Maybe, look, no, nobody would say that to me now. They might say you got a big old round body now.
Redneck Girl, and of course, if I lied to you, I'd lie to you for your love. They had just tons of hits. Let Your Love Flow. You Just Ain't Whistling Dixie. Howard Bellamy is celebrating a birthday today.
Right.
Had a hotel room next door to them one time.
He'd be, 74?
Yeah.
Is that right?
They stay up all night, is all I got to say.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. It's like I wanted to move rooms. So that's just the way it was. And, oh, my gosh, we can't leave it. It was Farrah Fawcett's birthday. And who did not have that poster? Did you have it?
My brother had that. Yeah, I didn't have it. No. Why would I have it? I was probably like in the second grade when I remember when I was in the second grade. Oh, look.
See, this was given to me by Angie.
Is that like how old is that?
Oh, but she gave it to me 5 or 10 years ago.
Okay.
So,
you wear it?
Well,
you should have wore it today, Scotty Ray.
It looks like it shrunk.
Oh.
I'm not sure that would fit anymore. I swear, a couple washings, and I think it did shrink on me.
Oh.
But they do make these.
You should put that in a poster frame in here.
I'm telling you, is that not it? I'm telling you, 9 years old or 10, I had that.
Well, I was in the second grade when my brother had that big poster on his wall. Mm-hmm.
My mama said it was ugly, and I shouldn't have that.
Oh, really?
That made me want it more.
My grandmother probably would have said that because she couldn't stand when Daisy Duke on the Dukes of Hazzard on the beginning, when it was coming on, and she's walking across the road.
Oh, the Keenie?
Oh, yeah. She'd say, she just needs her behind blistered.
Boy, that's sure what made a lot of people tune in on Friday nights.
Yeah.
That woman had it going on back then. This was another one of those days that goes down in history. It was the last performance of Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. They would do that, and then, of course, the plane crash, and we'll cover that tomorrow, happened, and the day the music died.
That's sad.
It is.
And that seems like that happens, or it used to happen a lot.
Yeah, plane crashes have gotten a whole lot better since then. Candace, you've got a big round body. Would you? Oh no, she said, Candace, you have never had a round body. She
Look,
would give
Tammy,
anything to be built like you.
That's a good friend of mine. She's just being
So she
sweet.
thinks you got it going on.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Tammy. In the last year, I think I can smell food now and gain 10 pounds. I literally, I mean, I went from like 127 pounds to like 140.
Is that Rat's
7 pounds.
sister?
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
is.
gosh, I ain't seen you in
Tammy.
years, Tammy.
She's living down by the beach now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I keep saying I got to go down there because another friend of ours is down there too. So I got to get down there to see y'all, Tammy.
Oh, and Carolyn agrees with your mama. So a few things going on. Let's go back and see what else went on this day. It's interesting to go back in time to look at what did go on. It was 1960 and Loretta Lynn signed her first recording contract. She learned more about baloney than you'd ever know. Dolly had the #1 song in 1974 with Jolene. And outside of I'll Always Love You, is this maybe the second biggest in your, when you think of Dolly, is that one of the songs that comes up?
Yeah, probably so, because I mean, yeah, that's a big song even today. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the one you said they're going to be making a movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Now, this was not my cup of tea, but I understand it was a national hit and people loved it, but it was not my cup of tea. Barbara Streisand, The Way We Were. Can you sing that?
No.
I thought I would ask.
I could, but I would not do it justice.
And I had a picture of Debbie and Blaine, and I don't know what I did with it. But Blaine Larson, we brought him to concert in the Meridian. If y'all remember, Craig Morgan played. It was November the 4th or 5th. It'd been 80 degrees all week, and then that Saturday night, it went to 20.
Scotty Ray has got like a memory like an elephant. Don't they say elephants have like super
They're
memories?
supposed to remember forever. But it was cold. I remember scrambling to try to find heaters because the guitar players, their hands were too cold to play. And we were scrambling. I remember talking to Rob Seal, going, Rob, help me. Where can I get some heaters? And we did get them in time, and Rob helped out, and I appreciate Rob. Miss him so much. And as time goes by, if you'll remember My High School, what a touching song. I don't know what she said, but I sure like the way she sounded. Oh, boy. He had, and then How Do You Get That Lonely was another one of him. Great kid. But big show. Now, I don't know as much about the Sex Pistols.
I don't
Did you
either.
listen to them?
I mean, what did they sing? And I'll tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
Because I don't even know. No, that probably would not have been my choice of groups to listen to.
But it was heroin that took him down in the end. 1979, he was being, I think he was up for murder or something. And they were celebrating, and he got a little too celebrated, and
Goodness.
it didn't work out for him too well. Boy, do you remember this guy?
I do remember Doug Stone. I always thought he was so good looking. And I just remember him having a lot of heart issues.
He
too,
did.
back in the day, you know.
But Doug, if you were ever around Doug, back in the day now, he was a complete chain smoker. And I think he knew that it wasn't good for him, but he just sort of just kept right on going and smoked and smoked.
Does he still sing? Or
I'm sure somewhere out there, but I haven't seen a headline anywhere.
there's a lot of stars you just don't hardly hear from. I mean, like Lori Morgan. You know, I used to love listening
Well,
to
after
Lori
the
Morgan.
divorce from Sammy that they claim was love forever.
Sammy Kershaw, you don't hear about him anymore.
And Sammy was his own demise. Sammy was probably one of the best singers that ever come out of Nashville. And when he first come out, they were ranking him right there. Hey, this is the next step to George Jones. And Sammy's attitude, from pulling guns on people and just being ugly, ruined his career. You can be your own worst enemy, and that's what he was. Not one of my favorites to hang around.
Yeah.
Just not even in the class with Alan. But, more power to Sammy. He got where he is today doing it his way. But, not my particular way. Morning to Sandy White. She's up and at 'em today.
Good morning, Sandy.
And Tammy Ratcliffe says hello to me. It's good to see her.
I am going to come on down, Tammy. She said come on down. I am. I'm going to plan a weekend and go. So
Where are you going?
to the beach down there. Well, one of our friends has not been doing well health-wise, and she's down there. And Tammy has done a lot, for her and, like, helping, too, with the family. And So I want to go down there.
So do you do
I
the-
got to get down there.
So do you do the 2-piece or the 1-piece now?
I don't do the no piece. I put my shorts and t-shirt on. I'll go out there. But
So you don't
no,
wear a swimsuit on the beach now?
I put on. I mean, I used to sometimes. I've never been comfortable like walking around in a swimsuit.
Okay.
I ain't one of them women. I will put one on, but I just
You
I don't
cover it
know.
up.
Yeah, I don't know. And some people need to be a little more discreet. But no, I love to walk on the beach and like get shells and all that kind of stuff. Laying out there baking all the time.
So
no,
what-
that ain't my thing. Oiling up, and then a little kid runs by and throws sand all over you. And you
But I don't guess there's an age to where you actually quit wearing one. It's just self-preference. Is that it?
I guess so. You know, I mean, there's some people that'll wear little string bikinis till they late in age,
they're 90?
you know, till they're older. But more power to you. I ain't.
It was this day in 1993 that Willie Nelson agreed to pay the $9 million. And what is so sad about that is he had accountants that he trusted. They didn't pay his taxes. They invested his money wrong, and he pretty much lost everything he had at that point. Now, he's rebuilt it.
Yeah.
But $9 million was the settlement for the $16 million that he owed them.
Goodness. Yeah, comes to money, I guess you better be a little more.
Well, you hand it, because you're busy, you're going to tour dates, so you
Right.
hand it to somebody, and you think all my stuff is taken care of.
Yeah. That's scary. I mean, because you don't ever know. They might leave you with absolutely nothing. Some of
And
these
he's
people,
he's
you know.
not the first person that's happened to. Get you a good accountant. Isn't that right, John? She's listening. Do y'all remember when this happened? Oh, CBS.
I do remember when that happened. And, you know, I didn't see it happen, like the actual whatever. I heard about it after the fact. But thank God I didn't see it happen because that ain't something I want to say. But anyway, I just feel like, there was a lot of talk that was a planned thing.
Oh, it was definitely
You know,
planned. Them two got together. It made headlines. It sold something for both of them for weeks. So they got a slap on the hand. I don't think they really cared.
Yeah. So, not that something I'd, choose to do up there on national television.
She wanted to get her name
for
out.
publicity.
And I
That's
guess
awful.
it put the rumors down that her and Michael were the same person, finally.
I have never heard that.
You hadn't?
Now, he looked more like, what's her name? The other sister.
Is there another one?
Yeah, there was another one
Janet
that
and-
looked like him so much in the face.
There was a whole bunch of
Latoya.
Oh,
Latoya.
I'd forgotten about her.
Latoya.
It was a lot of Jacksons.
Yeah.
Whole family was talented. He just rose to the top with, what was that, Muskrat Love? What was that first song that he had? Ben about the mouse, wasn't it?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. As a kid, wasn't
Oh,
it
I don't
Ben?
know.
Yeah, it was Ben.
I don't know. Now, we have my 6-year-old is upset. He watched a documentary about Michael Jackson from when he grew up and all. And he was obsessed with Michael Jackson. So we had to get the CD. My mother got him a CD, and we had to listen to it. So, like, he sings ABC, all this stuff. I mean, he can sing all the little songs.
Yeah,
It's
ABC,
the funniest
1,
thing,
2, 3.
to listen to him. But
Y'all tell me if
I don't
I'm
remember
wrong.
that one, though, Ben. I don't remember
Did
that.
Michael Jackson do a song called Ben about a rat?
He could have.
I
don't know.
really think he did. So if you know, let me know.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on today. It was 2007 that Keith Urban sued a painter because he had the same name as he did, and he wanted the website for himself, so he sued him. Well, it ended up he didn't win and had to settle with the painter. It didn't go on to court. It was settled between them, and I guess that he had to pay the painter something. And I don't even know what his website is, but that's sort of the way it is.
Yeah. I
we
mean,
got-
a lot of people have the same name.
Yeah, I know. But you go back to that Lady Antebellum taking on the Lady
Yeah.
A, and then they sued the woman because she wouldn't drop it. Just because you're more popular at that moment in the public's eye doesn't give you the right to take advantage of the little
They
guy.
should have never changed their name
No.
to begin with. That's just crazy.
Again, not my cup of tea, but a lot of
Yeah.
people do listen to that. We'll be back. We got more coming up right here with Scotty Ray Candace right around the corner.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
So it makes you wonder, is Mississippi a safe place to live?
I mean, I think all in all, it's a lot safer than a lot of states.
Stats have come in from Jackson, Mississippi for January so far. Look at that. 13 homicides so far in Jackson this year.
And it's
That-
only been a month into the
know.
a month into the year. Goodness gracious.
Wow, is what I got to say about that.
Well, I think all that goes back to, there's not enough punishment for stuff. Because, if you don't have harsh punishments for
People keep doing
breaking
it.
the law, they're going to keep on doing it. You just give them a little slap on the hand, or you don't have any kind of authority, taking over. They're just going to keep on going.
Tate Reeves announced this morning. If you haven't heard this, but I posted it earlier, but the end of watch ended for one of Mississippi cops. This is Lieutenant Michael. Do you pronounce that Boette? B-O-U-T-T-E? Is that how you say that?
Or it could be Bout.
Bout. Maybe it's
It
Bout.
could be, yeah.
This is right down past Hattiesburg, right there at the Pearl River line where we go into Louisiana is where that happened. He responded to, I think it was a domestic call. He shows up. Somebody shot him. Another deputy arrives and shoots the guy that shot him. They were both rushed to the hospital. The officer did not make it. They rushed him to New Orleans, fallen in the line of duty. So our thoughts go out to them.
And I've heard this a number of times, but you never know. These officers, when they leave to go out on a call and they kiss their wife or their children goodbye, you don't ever know. That could always be. They're risking their lives, and I think people need to respect that a lot more and appreciate it.
Good morning to Ronnie Warren watching this morning. And Carolyn Knight said that scuba is safe. Let's see, lots going on there. Good morning, Linda Jane. Glad to have you watching this morning also.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to some stories that are happening nationwide. Did y'all seen this in Vicksburg? Another $1 million winner in the state of Mississippi.
It was bought in Vicksburg.
Yeah.
They could have not
Yeah,
been from
you're
Vicksburg.
correct. Yeah.
They could have been there gambling at the casino and just ran in a convenience store.
Yeah, I didn't look at it that way.
I wonder where they're from.
They have said they wanted to remain anonymous. So I guess we'll never hear that.
I don't blame somebody for that. People will be bombarding them with
Your third cousin?
You'll have all these people coming up. You know what? I ain't feeling so hot lately. I think I ain't gonna be able to work next week.
Now, I've never known much about this guy. I just know
I know
he's
he's
obscure.
odd, crazy looking. Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. And the young lady that dated him says that she was sexually abused for years from this guy. They started dating back in 2010. He's married to somebody else now. She's even gone to the Senate before and spoke on abuse.
Well, I'm gonna just put this out there because I always say, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. But
What's
if
your
you're
2
dating
cents?
somebody that looks like this,
Yeah, that
what
might
do
be
you-
your first sign.
Do you expect great things?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just scary looking to me.
If somebody looks like they're strung out, chances are.
Well, if you were to see his eyes, he wears these contacts that look like he's like a vampire or something. It's crazy looking.
Like one of the stories that comes out of this, he tried to call her one day for 158 times. He takes a razor blade, and every time that she doesn't answer the phone, he cuts himself. And when she comes home, he tells her, "Look what you done to me because you didn't answer the phone." Now,
That's a winner there.
Yeah.
Y'all need, that's a keeper.
That's your
Really?
second sign you ought to leave.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah.
But who would stay with that?
Who would get mixed up with that in the first place? You need.
And I have seen this. Abuse, whether it's on a man or a woman, is wrong.
Right.
But so many times, I don't know if the word is brainwashed, they'll leave them for a couple of days, or maybe they'll make it a week and then feel like they've got to go back to them.
Yeah.
And there's hotlines you can call if you're under something like that.
Yeah, there is. And it's scary because, a lot of times they're being threatened and, they threaten them or they threaten to harm part of their family
Yeah, if
and
you
stuff
leave,
like that.
I'll go beat your
There's
mama.
always a ploy to get them back. There's always some kind of, they try to use something for leverage to get these people back. So
if you've
but
got
there
a friend,
is a place
help
to
'em.
go.
Yeah.
Right.
Help somebody. If you see something that looks weird, talk to your friend.
That's right.
Let's see here. Tony Bennett, you remember him? Mm-hmm. He has Alzheimer's. They have announced that. He's been battling it since 2016.
Goodness.
His type of music was not my favorite, but I do respect what he does.
I like that type music. I love that old music like that. So.
Now, I didn't have the Suzanne Summers T-shirt, but
Oh, you didn't?
But you couldn't help but watch the opening scenes where they dump water on her and she rolls over and you go like, Suzanne Summer, they've been living in the same house since like 77, and they're moving, I guess downsizing, and she's donating a lot of her clothes and stuff to charity that'll help raise money. They should bring a lot of money. So Nice of her to do that.
Yeah, I've always liked listening to her, talk, and like she's I think she's always pretty much tried to stay fit,
Didn't she sell the ab thing where she
Yeah.
got on TV and done
the ab, no, it's the one that they put like
between your
the
legs
little
and you
thing,
squish it?
yeah, and I can't remember what it's called though. I can't remember.
It's been a while, but you
Right.
see that on television in the middle of the night. Like if you rented
Yeah.
a hotel room, turn on TV, there she was.
But she's big into like holistic medicine, I think. and
What's
stuff
holistic mean?
Well, it's not like regular
herbs?
no. Well, what is it? I mean, there's like
Drugs?
doctors who use like different kind of medicines instead of the
Oh, you're talking
regular
about like
medicines
the-
like we use.
Like say what the Indians had.
Alternative type medicine.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you go down to those health stores and get those vitamins and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think she's big into stuff like that. So,
Well, okay. I didn't know that about her.
yeah.
So good morning, Miss Ann Cook. Glad you're in with us today. As we go along here, Carol Burnett, who remembers her?
I remember her. I used to watch the Carol Burnett show all the time. Yeah.
Now, she sold this home a few years ago. It's back up for sale. It was her former home for $6.2 million. And I looked at the inside of the house and I thought, there is no way. It reminded me of that Southwest look, like if you were to go into a Mexican restaurant, the plaster.
Yeah.
That's what the whole entire of the house looked like.
I think
Fun to
they'll
go
just-
eat at, but
Yeah. I think somebody that's starstruck will probably, buy that
want it
house.
because she had
yeah,
it.
because it was hers. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to save my $6 million. So what you think about this? It's at an
Price of
8-year
silver.
high. Now, this is the people that drove up the price stocks of that GameStop last week. They have now decided to do silver, and it is at an 8-year high. So if you want to jump in on this wagon, don't know how long it'll last, they're driving the price of it up like crazy. And, well...
Or
you-
somebody comes in and cuts it off like they did.
Yeah. Now, the Jimmy Hoffa thing, will
Yeah.
this ever be settled? Somebody new in the mob has stepped up and goes, hey, I was there when they threw him in a barrel and buried him. So most likely they're going to go back and dig up another hole. And I would be shocked
Yeah.
if he was really there.
Because they've been looking for him for years. haven't
Since 76. But whoever got rid of him wanted him gone. He went to a mob meeting and ain't been seen since.
they? Goodness.
And is free to use the word ain't anytime you want today, like me.
Look, I was using it a while ago. Of course, that's just my everyday lingo.
I can't help but use this compulsive. Like some people go, I'm using the word ain't all day.
I guess I could. Look, one day I'm going to try to talk really proper.
Nobody would
See
like
how
you
long
then.
I last. We'll see how long I last.
Like you're on the 88.1 dial on the radio.
know.
They have no emotion whatsoever.
Hello, everyone.
Don't know how long this will last,
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
but I could not. There's no
me
way.
either.
Chicago mayor is getting into it with the teachers who don't want to go back to work because of the pandemic. She's telling them you got to go back. They say they don't want to. We'll see how negotiations turn out for them there in Chicago. Kids really need to be back in school. We've talked about this before, of whether it's meals, the camaraderie. There's ways to keep them safe, but they need their school. There's going to be so many people over a 2-year period that really don't get an education. This is going to be bad.
Right.
Because not every parent stands there and says, okay, do this online, and
Yeah.
keeps up with their children.
I mean, there are alternative. I mean, I agree with like they said the other day. Put the kids back in school, and for parents who don't want them back in school, then they have the option to
Yeah.
do it if they want to do.
if it's a must.
Right. But I mean, the ones that don't want to send their kids to school, they can stay home if they want to. But these parents that really need to work and the kids need to be back in school, for their, good. I think they need to do that. But anyway.
Our next subject, I have so many different feelings and thoughts, or maybe emotions is a word that goes through this. We have at the border now where our president is going to be signing something to let tons of people, thousands, maybe millions in as illegal aliens. Here in the United States already, we have people that need help that are homeless, that have nowhere to live, nowhere to stay. In my
Right.
opinion, it would be better that we take care of our citizens first before we let others in that may end up in the same path that they do.
Plus, we've got the pandemic going
Yeah.
on. I mean, it's enough chaos with trying to keep people from getting sick. And then we're going to open up the border and just let them flood on in from other countries where we have absolutely no idea what other diseases and different things that they have. I mean, are they going to monitor that? Are they going to be put through some kind of a
I think they're going to open the floodgates.
You know,
I could be wrong.
that is just so crazy, and it's detrimental to this country. I mean, it's going to be. It's I don't know.
But as you get into on the subject, you get into San Francisco. San Francisco places, the fancier places in New York have got this homeless problem now, where they're on the streets. They're using the bathrooms on the street. America is falling apart due to this. And this bunch here, somebody went in and rented, I think it was 17 rooms is what they done. Well, after it was paid for, they wouldn't leave. They just took over the hotel, the homeless did. These people that own the hotel have to make a living.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah.
There's many a person as we get down in the teens tonight that aren't going to have a place to stay, that don't have a blanket, that don't have a coat. We wish we could fix everybody. I don't know the answer to it.
And that is such the homeless and stuff like that is such a touchy subject. I know it's a thin line, I think, between people who actually are in need, and then there's some out there who choose to be that way, and they like getting free stuff, and there are people out there who are like that, and I'm not trying to put them down, because I have given to the homeless, because I've given them, I've done things, and I'm not one, like I said not long ago, to say, oh, look what I did, but
then there's the scammers. How many times have y'all seen it on TV where they go stand at the street corner and they do that all day, and then they go around the corner and get in a Mercedes Benz?
And that's the thing.
And you don't know who to trust.
You don't know who to trust. But what I say is, if I feel like God has spoke to me and told me and laid it on my heart to do something for somebody, I do it. And what they do with it that's between them and God, but
and that's where police were urging you not to give to somebody on a street corner, because they could be a scammer. Give it to someplace like Love's Kitchen or the Salvation Army that helps out. But we're human also. When you see somebody in need, you step up.
When I saw somebody one time, and I might have already mentioned this, I don't know, because I swear, as I get older, I can't remember anything. I'm not like Scotty Ray, remember stuff from umpteen years ago. But, I saw a homeless guy digging through a bunch of shoes that had been dropped off in this bend one day, and then I saw him when I went in Walmart, and then I come back out, and I saw him sitting over there. He had pulled a bunch of them out and put them in a buggy, and he was sitting over there trying them on to see which ones fit.
Yeah.
And it was hot summertime, and he was wearing these fur-lined boots, and I thought, he's burning up, And they looked like they were a mile too big for him, but I don't know. So, God just laid it on my heart to go and buy this man some shoes. And so
you got him some shoes?
I did that. I did. I went and bought him some shoes. And when I tried to go back and give them to him, he was nowhere to be found. Like, he had gone. And then I figured out he had gone down in this little, I felt horrible about this day, because I felt like I didn't accomplish what I wanted to do. But he was down in this area, like, that was secluded.
And you went off in there?
No, I was not. I had called 3 different people to come with me.
They
were all busy and couldn't come meet me. So I tried, but I think he was somebody who was really
legit that needed the help.
I do think he was. But there are people you just don't know. But if God lays it on your heart to help somebody, help them. Don't put yourself in jeopardy, though, to help them.
We find her laid out somewhere. Yeah,
I'm not going to go off in like a secluded area to give somebody something. I'll sit it on the street corner.
Well,
I didn't set the tennis shoes there, but anyway.
Well,
I felt bad because I didn't accomplish what I wanted to do that day. But
and God does lay things on your heart to do certain. He uses you to help others always.
Yeah, but you never know. It's
you don't.
Line,
it is very. So. This is something that's on everybody's mind: is China preparing for war? They've been sending warplanes almost every day in January to Taiwan, and of course, Taiwan says they don't belong to them. The United States kind of takes the side of Taiwan. So where is this going to lead?
It worries me. I really think nothing good is going to come of that.
Again, I've said this several times. Do I think the United States is headed to war somewhere? I don't think it's China, because that's too big a war. They need a little one that they can make their contractor buddies money on. What
worries me is China has the largest army or military in the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've heard, So they could have a little bit here, a little bit there, and,
Never
it's
know.
scary. I don't trust them. I'm sorry.
No,
I just
and you
don't.
shouldn't. We'll watch it, report to you what we see.
Yeah.
This is coming up. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world now, says that he will put a man on Mars by 2026, although his shuttle has not taken off yet. They're working on it. But he says he's going to do it. So I wouldn't want to be the first guy to do that, but
Yeah, me either.
so
I don't like getting in an airplane, much less shoot me out into
there ain't
space.
nothing wrong with no airplane. You
I
need to
don't
try.
like them. No, I done told you about my experience with the duct tape on the window and all that. No,
You need a little bit better plane is what you need.
I just need to keep my feet on the ground. That's what I need to do.
Our next story takes us to Blake Shelton's wedding that is up and coming to Gwen Stefan. Is that how you say her name? Stefani. Miley has volunteered to come sing at their wedding at no charge. We'll see if they really accept it. It was done on, I think, Instagram, one of those places, and she thanked her for offering that.
Yeah,
What?
she's another odd one.
And
you
she
know,
was
she's
such a
just,
sweet little girl when she was on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I guess Hollywood just gets a hold of them and changes them, or invites different things into their life, and of course they make the decision ultimately to change or not. But
Yeah.
a lot of them do go that way,
I don't know if everybody remembers, and I'm friends with her on Facebook, the girl that was from Meridian that used to be on WTOK, Rachel Allig, A-L-I-G, I think is how you spell it. She's a actress in Hollywood now, and
Oh,
she
really?
posts pictures of things that she's been in, and neat to follow somebody like that. Wish her well on her
I'd
her
have
journey.
to see her and just see.
It's probably been 10, 12 years since she was at TOK.
Okay, what did she do? Was she just an anchor?
Anchor.
Okay,
Went out with a little microphone and done her things, but she's doing well in Hollywood.
all right.
Says more than half of Americans are willing to delay getting the vaccine. As you get into this, more Democrats, if you break it down, have taken it to where Republicans are going, I don't know about all that yet. So we'll see where it goes. Some people are waiting on the one shot that has the vaccination. It's your choice. You make that decision whether you want it or
Yeah,
not.
I think Johnson & Johnson is coming out with the one-shot thing.
Yeah.
So
Is it better to wait? I don't know. Have you made up your mind yet?
I've not made my mind. I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't, because I've just heard too many different things. And, I'm not looking forward to getting, feeling sick at all. And again, because when I was sick a year ago, and I don't know if that's what it was or not, I have a good feeling it was.
But I have heard
But we
so
weren't
many
being
stories of
tested.
people that's already had it and then they get it again. To where originally they were saying you couldn't get it after you.
Just
you came.
yesterday, I spoke to somebody, and somebody that works with them got it back around Thanksgiving, and they got it again now.
So you can catch it
Yes.
twice for sure.
Yes, they said, yeah.
So that makes me question, does the vaccine work? Will
Yeah.
we see in 6 months people going, they still got it? Maybe
We'll
not.
see. I don't know.
Let's
We'll
hope.
just have to wait and see. But yeah, it's scary to me, injecting something in my body that's going to be there however long, maybe forever. I don't know. And what would the different effects later on be? It's scary.
Yeah, but make your own choice on that, what you want to do.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen all of this from newscasters that started doing their broadcasting from home, setting up cameras in their living room, or they do a special from the bathroom with cosmetics, and then they, accidentally catch their husband naked in the shower behind them.
Yeah.
Or maybe a girlfriend walks by that didn't know that you were live with no clothes on.
Right.
We've seen it all. But this one may take the cake. It wasn't in the United States. It was in Peru. And, of course, they're having virtual everything, and they had a trial. So the lawyer gets on there, does his thing. Everybody else kind of turns their camera off. But, he forgot to. Everybody tunes back in to watch the episode as the lawyer made whoopee with his secretary.
Good.
Live where everybody could see.
That would be bad.
Yeah, he's probably
So, yeah,
got some.
I see this picture where
Yeah.
I'm sticking the little tape over that. You might want to do that. Just keep it over it at all times until you get ready to use it. Lift it off, put it back.
Well, there's several things on that because people can hack into your computer.
Yeah,
And they
and
can
watch
watch
you.
what you're doing through that
Right.
camera.
Some people that leave their computers up, maybe have one in the kitchen even,
Yeah.
at a little desk or something, and just leave it on all the time. Somebody could be watching you all the time and you don't even know it.
Same thing with
Scary.
your security system.
Yeah.
Make sure to change your passwords every so often to where people can't get it. Now,
Scary.
I don't know what to think about this. And one part of me goes, technology is great. This is going to help a lot of people. And then there's that other thought of me goes, a chip. But
Yeah.
people with Parkinson's disease, they've come up with an implant that they can put in without having to have surgery on them that they say is operated by a smartphone that will help them. It'll help with the depression, help cure them. We'll watch.
Yeah.
I'm not a medicine man. I don't know, but
I'm sure
that
it'll
could-
track them too at all times.
Yeah.
You know.
it
but
could be the miracle thing to help save somebody's life.
It could be. I don't know.
I'm scared to venture out and say one way or the other whether it's great or bad. I don't know. Let's see here. Carolyn's not getting the shot, she says. And there's a lot of people that feel that way that don't want the shot. Now, this is just one of those where you want to call them up on the phone and go, what are you thinking? This is not going to happen. You're not God, and you can't change what is destiny.
Right.
This millionaire thinks he's done this. He's going to live to be 180 years. He spent $1 million of trying to improve his body and having stem cells removed and then put back in his body. Buddy, you're still going to die like the rest of us.
Yeah. 180 years. I mean, that's a long shot right there. A long shot. I mean, there's people that live to be like 106.
Yeah. You ain't making it no 180.
180. I mean, goodness. We'll be lucky if we make it to 80.
Hank Williams wrote a song called I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive, and you're not either. That's the best news I can
Says
tell.
Scotty Ray.
Write it down, y'all. This is hitting the internet, and people in a frizzy over it. This lady gets married, and they put the video of it out there. As soon as she says, I do, she turns around to her husband and says, do you mind if I hug my ex-boyfriend? And she does it, and people are picking on her.
Now, if he had like 5 days to live,
I see what you're saying.
I'd say, go ahead, bud. That's fine.
But, I mean, how would you like Kirk been doing that up there after y'all got married?
I mean, I would not like that. That would not be my.
Most women would not.
Yeah, I would not. That wouldn't be my say. Go right ahead. And if somebody was
Terminally ill.
yeah terminally ill or moving out of the country for good or something,
Right.
But that's just odd to me. That's just weird.
You ever had anybody call you the night before and go, all you got to say is no and I won't marry him? You ever had that happen?
No.
Okay.
Have not.
I thought there was a story here. I was going for it.
No, I haven't. No.
As we look at this is just a sad case. A young lady, a teenager, beat cancer 3 times in her life, and then she passes away. This was in Missouri to COVID. Just a horrible story. Condolences to her family as they deal with the loss of that.
Sad.
We broke this when this guy went in the hospital, Dustin Diamond.
That was a quick, because
It
it wasn't
was.
too long ago. We just talked about he had it. Now he could have had it for a lot longer than what we knew.
But he only knew about it for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Really,
And he died from it.
it was lung cancer. Yeah.
And we posted this morning. Hal Holbrook has passed away. Of course, he was married to Dixie Carter. Boy, was she great on designing women.
Don't you know they were a neat couple to be around?
Had to be.
Because, I mean, he was always a great actor, and she was always a great actress. you
Yeah.
know. I just loved when she got wound up on designing women.
Yeah.
She could choose somebody out and never say the first bad word, but they'd feel about this big when she got rid of,
Oh, yeah. Now,
done with them.
he was famous for doing Mark Twain, a whole show by himself, stand up, just do the Mark Twain thing. He was in Fletch Lives. He was also, what else was he in? Dirty Harry. He done Abraham Lincoln, and then he also played Abraham Lincoln in the miniseries North and South, if you
Okay.
remember that. And tons of other shows that I probably can't remember.
He was a really good actor, though.
But
Yeah.
he will be missed. He was one of those that was one of a kind. And people like that you do notice that are gone from us. As we turn to the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151, don't forget, coming up 3 days from now, they're going to be there with the fish. As we've mentioned, if you need to stock your ponds, they'll be there, along with all those jeans and things that you might need from the clothing department.
Yes.
Of course, they carry Carhartt, Wrangler, all kinds of great brands, and if you need a jacket, they got those as well, with T-shirts galore inside. It'll be summertime before you know it's spring. You'll be wanting to put a short sleeve on. They've got them. The Mobucks apparel, boot dryers. Let's see here. We still got plenty of the disinfectant. If you hadn't gotten your supply
I've got to
yet,
go get me some of those wipes. I'm out in my car.
it's time to keep that.
I do.
As you go through this, propane bottles and, of course, boots to keep your feet, because they're a farm supply. They handle all this with the heaters, which winter is not over yet. Cold tonight again.
Yes.
As we move into taking a look at deer cameras, which a lot of people use these for security cameras, you can do that. They'll come to your phone and you can see what's going on. Of course, all your fertilizer that you might need, wheat, anything to make your patches and pastures look better, and feed for your horse, cattle, goats, whatever you got, and hogs. guns, scopes, and ammo. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply. See them today. See Ron. His staff will help you out. If you've got something that you're wanting to plant in your yard, and I'm sure this is going to be the big push, everybody getting, what is it you put in the flower beds? It comes in those bags. The mulch.
The mulch, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people need like topsoil too and stuff like that. You don't have good soil at your house, but yeah, mulch and pine straw too. I think they have.
Yeah, I almost hate to see spring come for that main reason there, because I know what's going to happen here. It's coming. She's going to work me to death.
Well, I can't wait to see some flowers and stuff. I don't know. I used to work in the yard all the time. I'm kind of limited now as to what I know my limits now after having the wreck thing last year. Because but I'm gonna try to get out there and do some flowers in some pots if nothing else. But I can't wait. I
think your neighbors are wanting you to do something too. I'm just pass it around.
My yard used to look like it was manicured years ago, and now it's just
You understand why you pass by some
much
people's
work to be done now.
Where people don't have any flowers in the yard. They just
Yeah. Well, I always try to plant stuff that'll come back every year, and so just planting stuff that's just going to last a little while and die.
Yeah.
I'll put that in pots.
There you
where
go.
I can switch it out. But
We'd like to say thank you for watching this morning and being a part of it. We'll be back bright and early on Wednesday to get you through that. Should there be any weather, we'll let you know as we warm up today to about 52. Still chilly outside this morning.
Yeah, it's still cold. I mean, the wind, if it blows, it'll cut you right into.
It will. Now, tonight, be ready because our low is going to get down to 27 degrees. Burr. Warms up tomorrow night and then rain moving in toward the end of the week.
Are we going to have a pretty weekend, though, did we say?
Let me see here what it says about the weekend. Over the weekend, well, let's see. Saturday, we got a 40% chance of showers.
Okay.
Rump row. So rain's going to move in Thursday night. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to rain all day on Saturday.
Yeah,
Kind of hit and miss.
Well, we do hope y'all have a wonderful day and stay safe and have a blessed day.
Right. So. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow, and we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on in and around the area. Thanks a bunch for watching.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by